How do airplane toilets work? You've probably wondered about it. Maybe right after pressing that little button and hearing that loud whoosh that sounds like you've just opened a black hole. At 35,000 feet, in a space barely big enough to turn around, there's a surprisingly sophisticated system that keeps your business safely stored away, keeps smells under control, and does it all without dumping anything on the people below. Today on Plane Stories, we're diving into the secret life of the airplane lavatory. From the bucket and curtain days of early flight to the high-tech vacuum systems we rely on today, plus some of the funniest and weirdest myths about plane toilets. The early days, no bathrooms at all. Believe it or not, the first airplanes didn't even have bathrooms. In 1903, the Wright brothers' first flights lasted less than a minute. So there was no need. Even into the 1910s and 20s, early commercial flights were so noisy, bumpy, and cold that using the bathroom was the least of passengers' worries. Cabins were sometimes open to the air, and trips were short enough that passengers were simply expected to hold it. By the 1930s, air travel was becoming more common and flights were getting longer, which meant airlines had to find a solution. The result? The first in-flight toilets, which were basically a bucket behind a curtain. That's right, a literal bucket. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't hygienic, and nobody wanted the job of emptying it after a flight. But it was the first step toward giving passengers a way to do their business in the air. World War II, the flying latrines. During World War II, flights got much longer. Bomber crews often stayed airborne for 10+ hours, so the military had to get creative. They introduced relief tubes, funnels connected to hoses that discharged waste outside the aircraft. Efficient, yes, but at high altitude, those tubes could freeze solid, creating back pressure. It wasn't glamorous, but it worked most of the time. Post-war improvements. Chemical toilets. By the 1940s and 50s, commercial planes like the Douglas DC-3 began, including small enclosed lavatories with chemical toilets. These used blue disinfectant liquid to break down waste, but running water was rare. The waste stayed on board until the plane landed where it was emptied. A huge improvement over buckets, but still far from what we know today. The jet age. More bathrooms, better systems. In the 1960s, with the dawn of the jet age, planes like the Boeing 707 and DC-8 brought more advanced lavatories with flushing systems and sealed waste tanks. This was a game changer. No more dumping waste mid-flight, and no more unpleasant smells drifting through the cabin. Airlines also began adding multiple bathrooms on long-haul flights, meaning you didn't have to wait quite as long in line. Luxury carriers even added powder rooms in first class, with mirrors and extra space, a far cry from today's tiny cubicles. The game changer, vacuum toilets. The real breakthrough came in 1975, when James Kemper patented the vacuum flush toilet, and by the 1980s, this system was standard on most commercial aircraft. Here's how it works. When you press the flush button, a valve opens at the bottom of the bowl. This connects the bowl to a pipe leading to the waste tank. Because of the pressure differential between the cabin and the tank, everything is whisked away in a powerful rush of air, using almost no water. It's a brilliant design, because lighter weight means less fuel burned. Sealed tanks mean no smell. Teflon-coated bowls mean nothing sticks, so it stays clean with very little liquid. When the plane is on the ground, pumps create the vacuum. Once airborne, natural pressure differences do most of the work. What happens after you flush? All that waste ends up in holding tanks at the back, and sometimes front of the plane. When the plane lands, those tanks are emptied by service trucks called honey wagons. They pump everything out and take it away to be safely processed. So no, your waste is never just dumped into the sky. Myths, mishaps, and blue ice. Let's bust a few myths. Myth 1. You can get sucked in if you flush while sitting. Nope. The vacuum is powerful, but not nearly enough to harm you. The only documented case of injury was on the ground, when a woman perched on the rim and created a perfect seal. Myth 2. Planes drop toilet waste mid-flight. Never. But here's where the blue ice story comes from. In the old chemical toilet days, leaks sometimes happened. Waste would freeze on the outside of the plane at high altitude, then break off and fall when the plane descended. occasionally landing in people's yards. Legislation in the 1980s banned any takeoff with the lavatory system leak, so blue ice incidents are now rare. Real problem: clogged toilets. People throw the weirdest things down. Plain toilets, diapers, cans, even cutlery. Clearing a blockage can take days and sometimes ground the plane entirely, because aircraft are required to have a certain number of working toilets before they can fly. The dirtiest secret: the sink water. If you want to worry about something, worry about the water in the sink. Studies have found that lavatory tap water can have contamination levels way above safe limits. Airlines have improved their cleaning procedures, but many experts still recommend using bottled water for drinking or brushing your teeth on a flight. The future of airplane toilets. So what's next? Companies like Jamco, which makes half of the world's aircraft toilets, are experimenting with touchless flushes and faucets, self-cleaning lavatories that use UV light to sanitize between uses, eco-friendly systems that recycle water and reduce weight. Some premium airlines even offer bathrooms with windows or full showers in first class. Yes, you can literally enjoy the best view on the plane while taking care of business. So next time you hear that loud vacuum flush, you can appreciate just how clever that little lavatory really is. A tiny engineering marvel that keeps the cabin fresh, saves fuel, and keeps your fellow passengers happy. Have you heard any other wild myths about airplane toilets? Or do you have your own funny theories? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to see the craziest ones. And if you enjoyed learning about this, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. See you in the next one.